Welcome back to the dopest show you won't get sick of. I'm Spencer. This is Sasha. I spent most of my 20s in federal prison, but I've been off heroin since April 9, 2010. Got a lot of stories about the dumb stuff I did to get put in prison. I also got a lot of stories about the crazy stuff that actually happened when I was in prison. And God forbid you end up in prison, you won't have to make some of the same mistakes I made. So, this video is going to have a few stories in it. And it's because of a commenter I made a post for just a little bit ago. Apparently this guy, maybe because, I don't know, maybe how I dress, maybe because I'm articulate, I don't talk with the new age, whatever, assumes that some of my stories, saying that I'm just telling a bunch of lies, and then he goes and says that I'm putting fake pictures of myself up. So I said, 5 minutes from the time, I said, I'm going to comment right now. When I get done with this comment, whatever time that says, it's going to say 5 minutes later, there's going to be a post up. Posted his name, posted a picture, background still in it, with the piece of paper, held up with his username on it. So you'd see what it is. You see my finger coming to and from the play button when I start me in these videos. Don't you think I'd cut that out by now if I had a clue about editing? I use an app called Canva. It has a background remover. I don't even think I could do any, morphing my body into a Power Ranger like you're assuming I'm doing or something like that. I'm going to flex and workout 4, go to the last 30 seconds. You see my finger coming to and from the play button, okay? This one, to and from the play button. So I'm going to flex like a douchebag at the end of this with my arm in front of the camera. Just for you, okay? With your little playlist full of these little runaround thugs. You don't want to go to prison. Start talking that new age crap, your OG. They're going to look at you like you're stupid. They're not even going to know what you're saying. So I had this problem a couple of times. Didn't have it a lot after that because people realized, better not. Okay, that has happened to a number of people. I've got a story about Little Billy. Little Billy was like this little quiet, openly gay dude. Nobody knew he was gay till he ended up with always around this dude who was. He didn't mind bother anybody ever. I got videos up about him. Didn't bother anybody. No tattoos. Didn't sound like he was street, and he wasn't strong. Didn't ever look like he worked out a day in his life. Probably 140, 150 pounds. I don't know if he used to box or what, but man, he knocked out this giant dude who went by wrench. It's like 280 pounds, twice his body weight. Twice. The first time, his boys walked in there, and he was unconscious. He woke back up. He says, "The little guy snuck me." So they went to Billy and said, "You got to run it back, man. You got to fight. We're not going to jump you," because he got, like he was getting ready to fight them. He probably would have knocked all of them out, being honest. They made him fight him again, but this time they watched. About 10 seconds, he was on the ground again. Then beat up this big old waterhead, Big Larry. Okay? Started problems with him. That guy was about 240 pounds, 6'4", Larry was. Larry was a simple-minded person, chomo, no sympathy for him, but big bone, like one of those people that's just built, like could have been a professional athlete, but he's a complete piece of trash. And same thing, that was the worst. That was like a crime scene when Larry fell out of that door and started screaming, "Help! Help me!" to the guards. It looked like 20 ounces of red. If you put some Hawaiian punch in a 20-ounce bottle and sloshed it across the room, looked like a Manson scene. That was bad. Okay. There's other people that people assume aren't hard either. I've talked about this guy. There's an old man, been to USPs, worked his way down. Somehow he ended up at Petersburg. He was not in there for any weird stuff. He was a real convict, but he was an old man. He was articulate. And he dressed like an old man. Guy cut him. He said, "Excuse me." And the guy said, "F you, old man." He said, "Oh, F me?" He said, "Yeah, if you want to do something." When these tough guys, the guys who are really tough, not like, just people who think they're tough and like to talk a lot. When real tough guys get old, a lot of the time, they say, "Well, my fighting days are behind me, so I'll just go get a piece of steel," which was what that guy did. And the next thing you heard was screaming. And the guy was standing behind him, had one hand out and jabbing that thing all through here. And just like it was rehearsed. He did something like this to the gun. He dropped it, went, and he smiled after he did that to that guy. That was like some creepy stuff out of a movie. This guy's heart rate probably didn't go over 100 the whole time he did it. Most people's heart rate would be over 120 before they entered the room, knowing they were going into that type of a thing and getting ready to do that. This guy was completely calm. That's what's scary. Most people, for a fight, heart rate gets up, everything else. This guy had none of that. Not one bit of it. Not one bit of it. You couldn't tell nothing was going to happen. And then there's other things, other times. Sometimes you get somebody who thinks they're tough, picking on everybody. You know, he thinks weaker. And that was this one guy, Cricket. And he picked on embarrassed him. And because of the way he treated his celly, smacking him in the back of the head, everything else, everybody treated his celly like he was a lame. I don't know how many fights that guy been in his life, but when Cricket was yelling at him and a piece of spit came out and hit that guy, he started windmilling. Whooped him. Nobody expected that one. That wasn't as much of, somebody you wouldn't expect. That was just, sometimes you get these paper gangsters and they crumble. For me, my big time came. I was showing people a couple holds on the ground. Yeah, it's easy to get people in a hold if they let you. And then I told the story. It's prison fights. I fought a prison monster. It's way down on the list. I fought a guy who didn't win, but he fought Butterbean and he didn't get knocked out. He hit me the hardest I've ever been hit in my life, right in the mouth. White flash. My lip was wide open for like over a month. But I was able. I shot in on him. He sprawled on me too, and I thought, oh no. But I rolled, got lucky with the scramble, ended up in side control. And he said something very unpleasant before then. He was saying, he just walked up to me randomly. I had no idea. He came out of nowhere. I mean, somebody must have told him something downstairs, and he must have thought, here's how I prove myself. And he said, that might work on him, won't work on me. I said, it's this, it works. And he's like, if I wanted to, I'd hold you down, you. And I said, F your mother. I didn't say F, I said the word. And when I said F your mother, I should have been ready for it a little bit quicker. Being that he was a boxer, won all kinds of tough man competitions. I mean, he was on a pro level, basically. He trained, he made a living doing it. And then he smoked to use up all money made off that, drink it up as a biker. Popped me in the mouth, I shot in. And I got him in side control with my feet posted out. He tried to flip up, kick out of it. All you have to do is turn into it, get your elbow or knee in and you shrimp out. But people don't know that. So he's trying to kick up, bridge up. It ain't going to work. It's not going to work. A couple elbows to soften up. Got him an Americana. It's a arm lock that takes your arm that way, okay? And I didn't stop till it popped. I wasn't going to see if he made good on that threat. That's a scary threat. I'll hold you down. No. We're not gonna see about that threat. That's a threat that I don't want to. I'm not playing with that threat. But anyway, there's plenty of people that you wouldn't guess. There was this little, this fat guy with the double chin and this little goatee, bald head. And he talked like this. He was a goofy guy, and he'd always make jokes on people. He'd rip on chomos. He was walking next to one of them, and I know he did it on purpose. But, you'd half guess he was one if you didn't know better. He's a karate black belt, and he said he was a judo brown belt, which I wasn't so sure about until I saw it. But this guy was walking next to a chomo, and he says, so how much time you got left? He says, something like 30-some years. I'm not going to make it out of here. And he goes, he leans into his face. He goes, that sucks. Shouldn't have been touching kids. Ha! And I'm like, oh, I'm going to be friends with this dude. And I found out he knew about stuff. We trained a little bit. And one of the most vicious knockouts that I've seen. It's part of the reason that I trained judo. Him and Barber Mike are the reason. There was this dude who looked the part, bigger than him by far. This guy's probably 220, but could have lost about 40 or 50. He'd probably been 170 if he was fit and healthy. You know, he's overweight. Bald head, about 5'8", about my height, 5'9". And this other guy's like 6 foot 220. Has words with him, but he's not backing down. And the guy starts swinging on him. And he gets in there and gets a hold of him and gets a hold of his jacket. And that's part of the reason I see a gi, the pajama uniforms, as not completely useless. He grabbed the jacket just like someone would grab the gi in judo. He lifted this guy 5 foot up onto the concrete. He was knocked out. Unconscious. He didn't even throw a punch. He grabbed a hold of him. Put his hip into him. Whoop. I said, we've been training karate. I should have been asking you about judo, because that's what I want to know. Now I'm brown belt under Olympian tarp, my man. You know, hanging out, doing dumb stuff, using drugs, all that type of stuff with your idiot friends, getting in little fights where you're flopping your arms for 20 seconds. That doesn't make you tough, okay? That doesn't make you anything except stupid. I did the same thing. And I hope you don't go to prison. I hope you wake up, but Lord have mercy. Just based on that playlist full of foolishness. People holding their pieces with their crazy looking styles they got now. God, it's a terrible time for rap. I mean, they just say, Bugatti, Bugatti. I mean, shoot, man. I wonder if people even know who Wu-Tang, Eminem, or even more. I mean, Eminem, he comes back and hits people every once in a while. But man, there's so much that's changed. Rap's changed. It used to be better than it is now. Lord have mercy. Big Pun, shoot, y'all missed out. Y'all hit a bad time. I mean, people don't even got to rap anymore. They don't even got to have a good. They just use auto-tune. So, but anyway, yeah, I hope that dude doesn't go to prison who said that stuff. But I had to put him out there a little bit because it sounds like it was multiple shots. Why you keep coming back watching me? I mean, why would you keep coming back watching me? Just to be talking, I don't get that. Like, if I think somebody's, I've seen people I think I know are lying, just based on stuff I know. I don't watch them anymore. I don't just get on there and say stuff. But the thing with me is, I'm gonna find that other thing. Somebody told me about you saying I lied on something else. I'm gonna find what that is. And if I can do it today, I'm gonna prove you stupid twice in one day. I'm gonna get a video of somebody who's there. I'm gonna figure it out. It's probably not gonna happen today. It'd be cool if I could do it twice in a day though. But there's nothing that I talk about in any of these that there are not multiple people that are out right now. There are like 5 people that were in there with me when this stuff was happening, that watched this. They can tell you all this stuff. It's probably my lack of sleep. I would usually be more patient. But anyway, yeah. So, flex my arm like a douchebag in front of the camera. And if y'all like the video, press the like button. If not, that's 13 minutes and 27 seconds of your time. Turn it off now before I flex my arm like a douchebag for this little douchebag. Apparently me acting like a douchebag, flexing my arm, is the only way to get this little douchebag to believe me. Okay? So you see my finger coming. Look, is anything like is anything changing? You like a filter or something? I never used a filter. I'm a dude, man. I don't even know how that works. Lord have mercy. I'm not big, but I guarantee to God, if I got a hold of you, you would say, I done messed up. I shouldn't have done that. So, yeah, that's my arm. I didn't Photoshop it, okay? I mean, you probably do that with, your little private part pictures into your little girls that turn you down, but I don't know how to do that. So, hope you liked it. I'll have a good night.